Hello fellow modelers and hobby crafters. I was going to save this review for when I actually make a model kit, but I actually think I need it now. I'm trying to basically make this post thinner, this plastic spacer, so I can suspend this DeLorean floating. Because this thing came with what I think are random sized screws. So I'm going to try to make this thinner and just jam it into the hole on the bottom of this model here. So this standard X-acto thing just seems a little bit too, I mean, it can work, I guess, but the blade flexes a lot. So I'm wondering if these are the same blades or not. Alright, but anyways, let's get into this. So it says exquisite carving knife. I got this from AliExpress. Those are the dimensions. Supposedly it's ergonomic. It's aluminum, and you can replace it, I think, by unscrewing that. You can get different colors if you want, and I think I have a red one. I don't really care what color it is. I would say that's more like a magenta myself. I think you could give this away as a gift. It's nice enough. There we go. I mean, that's nice foam in there. Okay. Alright, so it's got this cover for protection. This is definitely aluminum. Now the nice thing is you got this little directional arrow, and there should be spare blades in here. It says push that way, unless I'm crazy, but I almost feel it's supposed to go the other way. See, this is metal. This is not. So this thing's in backwards. They put the door in backwards, unless you think that's just to close it. But yeah, so you got some extra blades in here. I think 5. They are standard, like number 11 Xacto kind of sizes, it seems. Well, anyways, let's see if this still works. So close that up. Okay. And so, first I'm just going to try to use it. Make sure that's tight. I'm trying to go clockwise there. And this is my test piece. Well, you know, I think, see? Well, no, you can't see. Hold on, I gotta change the angle. There's a little recess there that I think is actually snagging the blade. So instead of the whole blade flexing, it only flexes from this point onwards. I do feel like it might be more rigid than that standard one I showed a moment ago. The only way to prove it, though, is to open this up. So undo, blade out, see? There is a groove there. So that's helping to stabilize the blade and keep it from flexing. So I have to imagine if you're trying to do, you know, a lot of curved cuts and stuff like that, you don't want the blade flexing on you, you know. So this should hopefully be a little more precise in controlling the blade itself. I don't really need to test these types of blades. You know they're sharp already, and if they aren't, you can replace them quite cheaply and easily, it seems. Alright, well, it definitely scrapes. The feel of this in my hand, it's definitely thin back here, but you can see it flares out here, so I do believe it kind of feels comfortable, at least holding it like this, where I'm actually scraping it sideways. Cutting away from you, you're going to want to use your finger maybe, or cutting like S shapes. You do have these recessed ridges here for fingertip grip. So I think that seems smart. This is plastic. It's hard plastic. I suppose if it was they had more money, they would have covered this in like that rubbery stuff like you find on some ergonomic pens. But maybe that rubbery stuff would go bad over time as well. So, okay, let's try like whittling some stuff. So here's a plastic toothpick. So this grip thing for your thumb, it works pretty well. Alright, whittling's not an issue. Let's see if I can carve a little bit. Curve this away. Try to cut out like a concave thing there. Well, it's... Oh, sorry, it's a really light object. So that's the wrong plastic, but there against my finger you can see it is capable of carving plastic quite well. Here's a wooden chopstick, a bamboo chopstick. So yeah, pushing away. Definitely the blade feels firmer because it's literally being supported like almost halfway through the thing. So compared to, you know, the standard one, let's see. Well, you know, at least, yeah, I guess this is fine just as well. Yeah, I think maybe it's just because this blade is newer. Maybe that's why it feels so much easier. That's got to be it. But I guess, you know, with this ergonomic thing, you can twist it because this is square. So you can get more leverage, I guess, more control. This one, it does have this thing, so I guess it really depends on how much force. You know, this is still gripping, so I think you could still lever quite a bit with this, but this just has more real estate inside your hand, so it might be more comfortable over the long term. Thicker cardboard here. Right, so seems to work fine. And now we have a, I assume, styrene model kit thing here. So this is an ill-advised cutting towards you. Basic Cub Scouts should teach you not to cut towards you. But I find if you're trying to do really small things, it is possible. You know, I'm just cutting off like a millimeter. You know, I'm not cutting towards into my thumb, just towards it. So that helps me control the cuts. These clear plastics, by the way, are very brittle. They tend to crack very easily, but as you can see with a new blade at least, it does a good job. It seems quite effective. Cutting away would be the safer thing to do, but yeah. Now this way here, sometimes I use two hands. So this is for twisting, and this is the one pushing. I don't know, I feel like it just gives me more control when I'm sculpting things. I don't know if you have a different way to do it. Please leave a comment so you know everyone can learn from everyone. But if I was to dig out something really small like that, that's how I go about doing it. It definitely doesn't flex as much as the actual official Xacto thing, right? Because it's bracing it at that point. I will say though, if you are to, this is more of a pen, you know. So if you were to cut a bunch of S's and stuff, that might be more advantageous. Whereas this, I guess it could be done, but I almost feel like the other one might be better. So sorry, I don't have a... Alright, hold on, I get some paper. Okay, here's some paper. Here's the standard blade, right? So if I hold that, it's very easy to make these S shapes and curves and stuff, right? Probably should have pushed down harder. I don't really want to destroy this wood thing, so. But anyways, it's very easy to control a cylindrical object. So now the question is, can I do the same with this? It doesn't feel as easy. It can be done, but it doesn't feel quite as easy as this. So, this is a newer blade, that's why I cut so easily. But I would say those are still pretty smooth S's, right? Big sweep. Changing direction. You know, I guess your hand can adapt. It seems okay. But I guess if I was trying to cut a lot of funky shapes, I do think maybe this would still be better. But the advantage of this one, I think, is the rigidity of the blade. So if you're cutting through thick, hard material, this blade isn't going to flex as much as you force a lot of pressure through it. So I guess that's the advantage of this design. Alright, hopefully that helped you decide if you want to spend the money on this. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, thanks. See you around.